Why do some people run from love while others chase it? Why do two people who crave connection somehow end up creating distance, one reaching, one retreating, in a dance that feels both passionate and painful? Let's pause for a second. Notice your breath. Maybe this question already stirs something in you. The memory of being the one who chased too much, or the one who needed space and didn't know how to say it gently. Love avoidance and love addiction are two sides of the same coin. On the surface, they look like opposites. One person longs for closeness while the other avoids it. But underneath, they share the same core fear. What if love isn't safe? Think of two magnets. They're drawn together with incredible force. But the closer they get, the stronger the resistance becomes. That push and pull, that invisible tension, mirrors what happens when someone who fears abandonment meets someone who fears engulfment. The love addict learned, often very young, that connection can disappear without warning. They might have had caregivers who were unpredictable, sometimes loving, sometimes distant. So they grew up believing they have to fight to keep love close. Their nervous system equates love with pursuit. When someone they care about pulls away, it activates panic, not preference. They chase because it's the only rhythm their heart remembers. On the other hand, the love avoidant learned that closeness comes with a cost, that emotional intimacy often leads to loss of independence, or even emotional pain. Maybe they grew up in an environment where they had to be self-sufficient too early, where vulnerability wasn't safe or respected. So they built a protective pattern of distance. They run not because they don't care, but because love feels like losing themselves. Let's slow down here. Have you ever noticed how often these two find each other? It's not coincidence. The love addict's pursuit feels familiar to the avoidant. It mirrors the pressure they once felt to take care of others' emotions. And the avoidance retreat feels strangely magnetic to the love addict. It mirrors the emotional chase they grew up in. Both recognize the dance, even if it hurts them. This is where most people get it wrong. They think one person is the problem. The avoidant ruins everything, or the chaser is too needy. But the truth is, both are acting out the same wound in different ways. One says, "Don't leave me," and the other says, "Don't consume me." Both are really saying, "I'm scared." Let's pause again. Notice your shoulders. Maybe there's a bit of tension there, the way your body leans forward when you want someone's attention, or leans back when things feel too intense. These small reactions are the body's language of love and fear. In relationships like this, the cycle becomes predictable. The love addict reaches out, needing reassurance. The avoidant feels overwhelmed and pulls away. The space between them grows, which triggers the addict's panic. And the chase begins again. When the avoidant finally returns, the relief feels euphoric. Both mistake that rush for love. But what they're really feeling is the nervous system's relief from stress. The moment danger seems to pass. This push-pull dynamic can last for years. It feels like chemistry, but it's actually familiarity. It's two nervous systems replaying the emotional tempo they knew best, one that alternates between connection and distance. Let's pause for a breath. You might recognize yourself in one side of this pattern, or maybe at different times you've been both, reaching in one relationship, withdrawing in another. Either way, you're not broken. You're simply reenacting what your body once learned to do to stay safe. Keep that thought for a moment, because once you can see this dance clearly, not as rejection or neediness, but as fear, you can start to change the rhythm entirely. When you start to see the fear underneath both roles, the whole dynamic begins to make sense. You stop labeling it as toxic chemistry and begin to understand it as emotional survival. Two people trying, in their own ways, to feel safe in love. Let's pause for a second. Notice your breath again. Maybe it feels a little steadier now that we're naming what's really happening. When love feels unpredictable, your body isn't just reacting to the person in front of you. It's reacting to every moment love once felt uncertain. For the love addict, closeness feels like oxygen. The thought of losing it creates panic in the body, a tightening in the chest, a flood of thoughts like, what did I do wrong? How can I fix this? That surge of energy isn't desperation. It's your nervous system going into fight mode. You're trying to preserve connection because your earliest experiences taught you that love can vanish without warning. For the love avoidant, closeness can feel like being cornered. The moment someone gets emotionally too near, the body senses danger. Heart rate rises, thoughts scramble for escape. It's not coldness, it's the same stress response, only flipped. Flight instead of fight. Where the love addict fears loss, the love avoidant fears losing control. This is the hidden dance of fear. One person moves closer, the other retreats, both believing they're protecting themselves from pain. But what they're really doing is replaying it. Let's slow down here. Imagine you're in that dynamic right now. You send a text, they don't respond. Your stomach drops, your mind races, and you start planning what to say next. Or maybe you're the one who receives a long, emotional message, and you feel a wave of pressure to respond perfectly. So you put your phone down just to breathe. Neither reaction is wrong. Both come from a body that remembers what uncertainty felt like. The problem is, each person's attempt to feel safe makes the other feel unsafe. The more the love addict reaches out, the more the avoidant withdraws. The more the avoidant withdraws, the more the addict panics. It's like a dance that never stops, each move perfectly timed to trigger the other's fear. Let's pause again. Notice your shoulders, your jaw, your chest. These places often hold the echoes of that pattern, the reaching, the holding back, the not knowing what to do next. And this is where awareness begins. If you notice yourself chasing, pulling back, or even shutting down emotionally, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what does my body think is happening right now? Am I in danger or just uncomfortable with closeness? You're not overreacting. Your body simply learned that love can feel uncertain. These reactions aren't flaws. They're protection strategies built long before you had words to explain them. But the moment you can name the pattern, this is my fear of losing, or this is my fear of being consumed, the pattern begins to lose power. Keep that thought for a moment, because the next step isn't to fix the other person, it's to regulate yourself enough to stop dancing to the old rhythm. When you can find calm inside, you stop chasing or running, you start choosing. Let's take one slow breath together. Feel the air move through your body, the quiet reminder that safety starts inside you, not in someone else's reaction. Healing this dance between love addiction and love avoidance isn't about changing who you love. It's about changing the pace of how you love. When you slow the rhythm, you give your nervous system time to realize that closeness and independence can coexist. Start with grounding. When you feel the urge to chase, pause. Feel your feet on the floor, the steady weight of your body. That's reality, solid and calm. Tell yourself, I can survive uncertainty. When you stop reacting to the fear of loss, you begin to experience connection without panic. And if you're the one who tends to pull away, notice what happens in your body when someone gets close. Maybe there's a tightness in your chest, a need to escape, or a thought whispering, I'll lose myself. Before you run, take one slow breath. Ask, what if I could stay for just a little longer? It's not about forcing closeness, it's about teaching your body that connection doesn't mean disappearance. Here's the truth. Both the chaser and the runner want the same thing, to feel safe in love. But they use opposite strategies to get there. One seeks reassurance through contact, the other seeks safety through space. Healing begins when you realize you don't have to choose between closeness and freedom. Real love honors both. Let's pause again. Notice your shoulders. Maybe they've softened a little. That's what happens when your nervous system starts to trust safety, not chaos. Reframe what love means. It's not the surge of adrenaline that comes from chasing or being chased. It's the quiet steadiness of mutual regulation, two people breathing at the same pace. Love isn't a storm to survive, it's a rhythm to learn. Set boundaries that support calm instead of crisis. Boundaries don't create distance, they create clarity. If you're a pursuer, your boundary might sound like, "I'll share what I'm feeling, then give you space to respond." If you're an avoidant, your boundary might sound like, "I need a moment to process, but I promise to return." These small agreements replace panic with predictability, and predictability is what the nervous system calls safety. When both people begin regulating their fears instead of reacting to them, the dance changes. The magnet still pulls, but now, instead of colliding or repelling, both sides find balance. The connection becomes steady, not addictive. Keep that thought for a moment. Imagine the two magnets again, no longer crashing together or flying apart, but resting close in alignment. That's what healing looks like, not intensity, but ease. Notice your breath once more. This steadiness you feel right now, that's love too. The calm kind. The kind that doesn't demand, chase, or hide. You don't need to run to feel free. You don't need to chase to feel connected. You just need to stay present long enough for your heart to learn the difference between fear and love. Before you go, tell me in the comments. When love gets close, do you tend to run or reach?